What is up, YouTube fam? TJP Fishing Outdoors, and yeah, today we're just going to be talking about where the bass go in the winter. So you've just seen the previous video, because I'm still wearing the chest mount, but you've seen the previous video of me trying to catch fish, but I want to go more in depth in it, where the bass go in the winter. So if you guys are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. If I do, I'll be giving away 2 Juggernaut boxes and 3 fishing rods, 2 casting ones and a spinning combo to 3 lucky winners. You guys have absolutely blown it up here recently. I've grown more this month, I think, than I have any other time. So thank you guys so much for that. I do say a verse of the day in every video, but not in this one or the next one because I'll be filming them all together. But what we're going to be talking about is where the bass go in the winter. So this depends on a lot of where you are in the country, I should first of all say. Up north, like it was mid-November, early November, and fishing was kind of done already. Where here, it's just now at freezing temperature, so it's getting really hard for that, because right here in southern Illinois it doesn't freeze enough to safely ice fish. I should say that, and when it does, it would be like once every 5 to 10 years. But if you are up north, I would say probably do this the same way that I do it. I might give some ice fishing tips, but I don't have a whole lot because I don't do it a lot. But some of it might go back and forth. And then if you're down south, congratulations. I'm sure it's 60 degrees. Thanks. I honestly, I don't know anything really about the south winter fishing, just because I haven't experienced it. So I guess I should start off where the bass go. So the bass are going to go in, if you're on a lake, they're going to go on that main lake. So if you look at if you have a map of your lake, or kind of have an idea, have felt around, looked at graphs, all of that stuff, whatever the deepest part of your lake is, that's probably where they're going to be. Or if you have some creek arms, if there's a deepest spot there, they're going to be right there. Points at the bottom of that point. Tree hollows, just because, that's covered. It's like a big blanket. Just think of whenever you're cold, you don't want to be completely exposed to the elements. You want to have as much layers on. You want to be as close to the fire as you can, So that's how the bass are. They want to be at that deepest point because that's the warmest, it's very weird. In the wintertime, the warm water is on the bottom and the cold water is up top. And then in the summertime, it flips. But that bottom, deepest part of the water is where they're going to be at. Also, God's natural heaters. God's natural heaters is what you want to target. Rocks, okay? So when the sun, this is just like kind of common sense, I don't know. But basically the sun heats the rocks absorb that heat. So it's like you're sitting by a heater, so that where the rocks are, it's going to be warmer than the rest of the water. So anywhere where there's a little bit warmer water, that's where the bass will be. And rocks, deep channels, and I guess like if you have docks or posts or anything, any structure that's gonna be on there, you want to target the deepest part of that structure, because once again, it'll absorb the heat. Anything that can absorb that heat and make it just a little bit warmer is where they're gonna be. So bass fishing lure wise, I would go, a lot of people, the internet says jerkbaits. I'm not the best at hard jerkbaits. I would go with a fluke, okay? And you work those the same way. And I will tell you your retrieve on pretty much all of these after this. So jerkbaits, let's go with chatterbaits, because unlike spinnerbaits, chatterbaits have a blade right here and they're just gonna very subtly shimmer. You want everything to be a tight wobble. So lipless crankbaits, chatterbaits. If you have a tight wobbling swim bait, that will be good too. So that's your moving baits. If you want to do a moving bait, if you can, it might not be the best at times, but I have caught fish on underspins because they have a tight, the swim bait on the back has a tight wobble to it. Ned rigs, that's probably my go-to right there. Ned rigs, jigs, which is just a bigger presentation of a crawfish. And that's probably it. I'm probably leaving out a lot, but I'm just looking down here at my rods thinking. I'm just thinking probably a drop shot, maybe. I might throw in a drop shot every now and then, but that's just because that's personally, I've tried it this year a lot and I really enjoyed it, just because that weight sits at the bottom and then your bait is a little bit higher. So in the wintertime, what you're going to want to do is have your weight down here and just maybe 8 to 10 inches maybe off the bottom, where I actually do that all year round. But in the summertime, you can get a little bit longer of a leader, so that bait is way up in the way suspended up in the water. So those are all of the baits. Now the retrieve on all of these, slow, okay? And if you think you're retrieving it slow, go slower, okay? The late fall is a transition time to really start slowing everything down. The bass are slowing down, you're slowing down, and just getting that stable condition right there. Because the bass are probably not going to move off of those points too much. So if you're fishing a fluke, a spinner or a chatterbait, anything like that, fish it really slow. If you're fishing a moving bait, I mean like that. Slowly crank it, but still hopefully you can keep it off the bottom, so you're not just dragging it. But on jigs, you do want to drag the bottom. So jigs and Ned rigs, you're just going to very slowly drag it, if any at all. And most of the time you can catch fish dead sticking it in the wintertime, which is where you just cast it out there and you let it sit. You give that bait no action. That's why jigs and Ned rigs and drop shots are really good at that. There's that. If you would want to do a deep diving crankbait that would really get to the bottom, probably try to get one that has a tight wobble. I know that would probably be hard to find, but I have caught fish just absolutely banging the crap out of rocks on a deep diving crankbait in the late fall. But I know it's probably wintertime here. And if you are up north, probably the essential is blade baits, okay? Or blade baits, lipless cranks, anything you can vertically jig up and down. So a drop shot, that would be great. Crawfish, any crawfish bait, that would be great. And you're just gonna vertically jig it. You're gonna let it sit there and then pop it up and back down. Pop it up, back down. Just like that. And for down south, hey, I ain't ever done it. I would love to. So I believe that's everything. I'm sure I'm missing out on a whole bunch of information, but that's all that's coming to mind right now. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to be subscribed if you're new. Take previous verses of the day with you, and I'll catch you guys on the water.